Ever get that sinking feeling when your internet cuts out, like right before the climax of your favorite show?
Or your phone call just drops in the middle of some, really important conversation.
Ugh, we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever like stopped and wondered who actually swoops in to save the day and keep us all connected?
You're talking about the unsung heroes of our digital age, pretty
Yeah.
much. The telecommunications engineering technicians.
Exactly. And we've got a stack of resources here all about what it actually takes to be one of those heroes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the RoleCatcher Career Guide, interview tips, all that good stuff. So if you're curious about what this job really entails, well, buckle up because we're going way beyond the surface to give you the real scoop.
And it is a fascinating world, I have to say, once you start digging into it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just about wires and cables anymore.
Okay, so the RoleCatcher Guide paints this picture of a telecom technician that is way more dynamic than I honestly imagined.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was tech heavy, but they're dealing with people constantly too.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly human-centered field when you think about it.
Right.
Imagine explaining some complex technical issue to a frustrated customer who barely even understands how their smartphone works.
Oh, yeah.
That's where those communication and problem-solving skills become really essential.
Yeah. And it's not just about fixing things either. As you move up, up the ranks, there's design, research, even strategy involved.
Wow.
Do you know that at a senior level, these techs can actually influence which cutting-edge technologies get used in things like 5G network rollout?
Absolutely. This isn't your grandma's phone line anymore.
Right.
With 5G, the Internet of Things, we're talking smart homes, wearables, everything connected.
Everything.
Cloud computing, the field is seriously exploding, and the demand for skilled technicians is, well, it's huge.
Wow. Speaking of skills,
Yeah.
the career progression really stood out to me. It seems like there's a clear path from entry level to becoming like a tech maestro.
Definitely. The guide does a good job of laying that out, I think.
Yeah.
You might start with some hands-on work, assisting more experienced technicians,
Right.
kind of like an apprenticeship in the tech world. And the best part is, you don't even need to be an expert on day one. They've got your back with on-the-job training.
That's reassuring, especially in such a fast-paced field, right?
Mhm.
So you're getting your hands dirty, learning the ropes.
Yeah.
But what happens as you gain more experience?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, I'd say.
Okay.
As you transition to those junior and mid-level roles, you start taking on more responsibility,
Okay.
maybe leading a project to, let's say, troubleshoot connection issues in a 5G network,
Mm-hmm.
or even managing a team somewhere down the line.
So you're climbing the ladder, becoming like, I don't know, a 5G troubleshooter extraordinaire.
Right.
But at the senior level, it seems like it becomes less about knowing every single like technical detail and more about the big picture.
Right.
Right.
Precisely. You might be the one making decisions about which technologies to implement, optimizing network infrastructure for, let's say, a smart city where everything's interconnected. We're talking about shaping the future of how we live, work, and even connect with each other.
Yeah, that is a lot of responsibility.
Oh.
So it sounds like this career path really challenges you to keep learning and growing all the time.
Absolutely. And the guide doesn't shy away from that. I mean, it highlights the demanding work environments, the need to constantly stay updated in a field that's always evolving. And let's not forget that pressure of keeping literally millions of people connected.
Okay.
It's not always easy.
Yeah, we've all been frustrated with our internet at some point. Imagine dealing with that all day, every day. But I guess that's where those problem-solving skills and the ability to stay calm under pressure really
Yeah.
come in handy.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not for the faint of heart, let me tell you, but for those who thrive on challenges and kind of, pushing technological boundaries can be incredibly rewarding.
And speaking of rewards, I'm guessing this high demand translates into some pretty decent job security and earning potential too, right?
Yeah, you're spot on. You're not just fixing a problem, you're enabling entire systems that power our modern hyper-connected world, and that kind of expertise is invaluable.
Totally. Okay, so let's say you're convinced this is the career for you and you're getting ready to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher has some really interesting advice about, nailing that job interview.
They go above and beyond with this. It's not just the usual generic tips.
Exactly. They actually provide examples of the types of questions that you might get asked, which I think is super helpful.
Oh, for sure.
It gives you a chance to prepare, and you can go in feeling way more confident.
Definitely.
So one question that really stood out to me was, how do you stay current with new telecommunications technologies and industry developments? Because it is a fast-paced field, so I think demonstrating that commitment to continuous learning that's crucial.
Yeah, extensive. Right. The only constant is change, especially in the tech world.
For sure. And speaking of change, here's another question that I thought was really interesting. How do you handle a difficult project stakeholder? Because let's face it, it's not always smooth sailing. Even with all the technical know-how in the world, you're right, even in a field as technical as this one, it seems like people's skills are pretty essential.
Totally. You're going to be working with clients and managers and maybe even government agencies.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, being able to communicate clearly, understand different perspectives, and just find common ground, it's crucial.
For sure.
And that's something that comes up again and again in these interview questions.
Yeah,
It's not just about what you know, but how you work with others.
right, right. It's a good reminder that those soft skills are just as important as like all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Now, remember how we were talking about the competitive job market out there? RoleCatcher has this, I think it's really cool. They have this feature that analyzes job descriptions, and it figures out the specific skills that employers are actually looking for.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
That's amazing. So it's all about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Instead of just sending out the same like generic resume and hoping for the best, you can tailor your application to highlight the exact skills that each employer values.
Totally. It takes all the guesswork out of it, and it significantly increases your chances of actually getting noticed, right?
For sure.
It's like they've cracked the code of the job hunting game.
Yeah, in a way they have, and that's what makes these resources so valuable.
Yeah.
They don't just tell you what to do, but they give you the tools and the insights you actually need to succeed.
I love it. Well, that just about wraps up our deep dive into the world of telecommunications engineering technicians.
That was fun.
I know, right? We've covered a lot of ground, from the hands-on work to the big picture strategy, the challenges, the rewards, all of it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's clearly a demanding field, but for those with the right skills and the drive, it offers some pretty incredible opportunities, I think.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we've only really scratched the surface here.
Right.
There's so much more to explore in these resources, from specific technologies to advanced training programs, you name it.
So if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, I definitely encourage you to kind of dive into those materials, those resources, and keep learning. Because in the world of telecommunications, the possibilities are as vast as the networks themselves.
I like that.
Who knows? You just might be the one to connect us to that next big thing.